All right, everyone. Hope y'all can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay, Danny?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. All right.
Yay.
Yeah, trying to just get the old microphone in position here. Doesn't want to cooperate. There.
Oh, Nate, now I can't hear you. I
Oh,
cannot.
yeah. Sorry. What are we looking for right at the outset here?
Presuming that Victor Wembanyama is guarding Josh Hart, how does that look? And that's going to be really important. And then who do the Spurs feel comfortable defending Jalen Brunson? Who do the Knicks feel comfortable putting Jalen Brunson on?
Here, on. Somebody just spammed. Yeah.
Oh, look at how big we are that we get spam now.
Yeah. No, that's really exciting.
Woo! So people want to feel old. I looked this up because we've been talking a lot about partying since like it's 1999. Only three members of the Spurs rotation were alive when these two teams played in 1999: De'Aaron Fox, Luke Cornett, and Harrison Barnes. Most of the Knicks rotation was because their team is older than the Spurs.
All right. So yeah, I think the Wembanyama Josh Hart thing, and then on the other side too, the Knicks I presume are going to just start with Karl Anthony Towns guarding Wembanyama. Also, just how is De'Aaron Fox looking at the start? What is his level of aggressiveness? And then how much of the Spurs can be focused on going after Jalen Brunson early in the game? They don't necessarily have a roster that's perfectly set up to do that. And yeah, then to Castle on Towns, is that what it's going to be? How did the Knicks try to take advantage of that? There's a lot of fascinating matchups early on in this series.
Spurs transition offense is going to be another one to watch early because they had some big starts against the Thunder, but the Knicks don't have the Thunder problem of not starting their a cogent like a starting lineup that is viable against the San Antonio.
No, and pretty interesting to say that. Remember all the talk that like the Knicks starting lineup just didn't work, and it was so bad at the end of last year they couldn't deal with bigs guarding Josh Hart, all that. Well, no one's saying that anymore. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get us synced up here, and we are underway in the 2026 NBA Finals.
Woo!
Going to set the sync point, and they're going to go immediately to Towns, guarded by Wembanyama. Brunson pops out, late switch by Champagnie, and Brunson opens the NBA Finals with a three-pointer via that signature Nick off-ball movement. Karl Anthony Towns with the ball, setting up Brunson, moving off ball. Now they want to try to set a little wedge screen for Wembanyama, getting him into the posts. Wembanyama with Towns right in his grill, Hart coming over his strong side. Languid possession by the Spurs. Wembanyama had to shoot it higher than he wanted to, but it didn't matter. That was pretty good defense by Towns, though.
I thought he did a very good job there defending it. Made it a tough shot.
Oh man, this sucks, dude. Look how San Antonio now doesn't have the uniformity of the shirts anymore. People are just too cool to wear them in the NBA Finals. That's a shame. Here's Brunson working off the switch on Fox. Tried to step through on Wembanyama. Couldn't get it. Hart slips through for the offensive rebound. That leads to Anunoby wide open. And the Knicks, they have been so devastating, as you talked about on the pod, with their second chance point production.
It has been ridiculous during this postseason run that they've had.
Wembanyama brought the ball up. Towns flops down. Here's Wembanyama working on Towns. Good help by Bridges. Wembanyama still working, stepping through, trying to go right at him. They're looking to establish Victor early. There's an offensive rebound by San Antonio. Another one by Castle. He smoked the layup as well. Here's Hart. He's got Bridges on his right. He's going to try. No, he will not try Wembanyama. Towns will try a deep three. Good box out there by Fox on Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't want to be able to attack Towns off the dribble. And he's got it taken away immediately by Anunoby. 3-on-2 for the Knicks. Anunoby plows through Vassell. Victor got back, but not quite quickly enough. And it's 8-2 New York.
And I don't like Victor Wembanyama dribbling the ball up in the way that he has. It's in part because of fatigue. It's also just not his best attribute.
Well, they're also gapping like crazy. He has to recognize that. Here's Castle on the baseline. Is that a jump ball? No, he let the ball go. Great defense at the rim by the Knicks again. Fox hasn't really had an attack yet. Victor moving without the ball. That's where he can be effective against Towns. Another fadeaway, but those are not good shots for Victor Wembanyama. If that's the best the Spurs can do, they're not going to win this series. Now Bridges pulls up, and a rare fast break miss for Bridges. Anunoby on the floor, but the Spurs have it. 4-on-3. This has been a withering early pace. Fox for three. Inside, Vassell with a beautiful tip. He beat Hart.
Some nice opportunistic offensive rebounding for the Spurs.
Hart now going to try it. No, he will not try.
He's not even looking to do it.
Nope. He gets it back along the baseline. Quick hand back. Anunoby couldn't commit the illegal screen, though. And now that was a laser pass right at the ankles of everyone. Towns gets it back. Here's Hart with Wembanyama out of the play. And the Spurs are pretty exhausted right now. They swing it weak side. Castle off the Wembanyama screen. Anunoby bludgeoned his way through it. Now Fox. He'll fire a three-pointer. He's missed a couple. Spurs offensive rebounding. Man, everyone is so tired right now. Champagny did that offensive rebound. Now he can't get back. Here's Hart trying to go into Wembanyama. No, sir. Not that time.
Yeah, maybe Hart was right the first few times where he didn't try it.
Wembanyama for three. Yes. 10-7. Now they finally have a slower pace. Brunson actually struggled to get it across. He has not really had a one-on-one attack yet, other than one where he got into the lane and missed a layup. Here's Hart as they helped off of him. Weak side Anunoby. In a draw and kick sequence, Spurs in good order. Now Champagny switching too late onto Brunson. Late clock, he had to fire it, and a shot clock violation.
And I thought that was too aggressive a help from Champagny there. Wembanyama was back. In a circumstance where Wembanyama isn't back, then it's a panic situation. But what a block by Wembanyama.
Josh Hart always goes back to his right hand in transition. Now they try the pick and roll. Fox wide open, his third three, his third miss. Castle couldn't get the rebound. Towns picked up by Victor. This is the biggest thing so far, as we're seeing Victor on Towns at times. Towns going right down the lane. Good rotation by Vassell, but it didn't matter. Nice drive by Karl Anthony Towns. And you are seeing some of the difficulties that they put on it. If Victor is going to be guarding Towns, that drive is vulnerable, and the rim has been vulnerable as well. That Josh Hart layup off a second chance.
Mm-hmm. So far, small sample, of course. The Knicks, 7 points on 5 half-court plays. That's 1.4 points per play. The Spurs, 2 points on 5 half-court plays. Instead, San Antonio, they've gotten a little bit of their work done in transition, but it's I think that the Knicks have gotten better shots so far overall.
Dan says the people not wearing the shirts are Knicks fans.
That's possible too.
Well, that's kind of sad too.
It was, I believe I saw the math on it, that if you didn't have season tickets or whatever, that it was cheaper to fly to San Antonio and get tickets to this game than it was to get tickets to Madison Square Garden for 3 or 4.
Oh, I mean, the answer to that is yes, especially if you're looking at those tickets that they're in right now.
True.
But San Antonio, there was some news that they were revoking if people's tickets were seen for sale on secondary sites. They were revoking season ticket memberships. That might be more bark than bite there, but
as somebody who used to work in that business, if you're smart, there are ways around that. But a lot of people aren't smart. So
so what are the ways?
You just do a slightly false listing, and so there are ways you can, or at least when I used to work in that business, that you could do it.
Were they revoking tickets at that point?
They threatened it, but not to us, to other people. That wasn't NBA Finals that I did. It was close, but not that. Yeah. Lifetime ago. Let's see. So I think one of the most, and we've talked about how it happened, but to me, one of the big stats of the early going is that the Knicks, that magic number of how many half-court baskets can you make inside 5 feet with Wembanyama on the floor, the Knicks already have 2. And that doesn't include the one they have in transition. So that's getting Wembanyama out on the floor, in part because he's guarding Karl Anthony Towns, and getting all these other things. And There are limits to having Josh Hart as Wembanyama's cover because Hart can shoot himself in. He could shoot himself in. He's not just a traditional bad shooter, but because Karl Anthony Towns is a very good shooter, that is the respecting him. I think that pokes a real hole in San Antonio's defense.
Yeah, so Wembanyama has been on Towns for well over 50% of the time so far. He's picked up Hart a couple times too, but that was more the result of transition. Interestingly, the Knicks already have 4 transition plays, only 2 points on those. Yeah, going back to, we didn't have much chance to talk about it because, again, there's one of these withering starts with no fouls on either side. And just it seems like every one of these playoff games is that exhausting. But Wembanyama, I think he can score on Towns, sure, but not when OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, 2 of the best gap defenders in the league, are standing at the elbows.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to figure out a way to get the defense moving before those attacks by Victor. I think they wanted to try to set the tone for him at least a little bit.
And also, that's typically not where Karl Anthony Towns commits his fouls. He is a foul-prone player, but it's in different circumstances than just one-on-one defense. That's actually one of my frustrations with Towns is all the stuff he does that's not in one-on-one defense.
Oh, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson into the game already. Fox is out. He's 0 for 3 on threes. They're trying to keep Castle towards the baseline and succeed. Victor now going to roll right past Castle. Castle, no, he got it stolen by Bridges. A lot of packing the paint so far by the Knicks. Towns going right past Wembanyama. Easy.
Great
Victor's too close to him right now.
Yes.
He needs to use his length a little more. I know Karl Anthony Towns is the self-proclaimed greatest shooting big man of all time, but you don't need to be so close to him that you're just getting blown by. I've actually never seen Victor get blown by like that pretty much ever. Now Victor working on Josh Hart. They changed up the matchups. Victor, not a good pass. Spurs passing hasn't been good enough here early. And we're going to get a foul underneath in the rebounding action.
And that foul...
Victor's way too close to him and just gets totally blown by.
And that foul is called on Keldon Johnson? Oh, so
yeah,
that was an offense foul.
And it's pretty interesting, Danny. If Victor gets beat, the other Spurs are like, wait, what? We're supposed to help? What? Victor gets beat? It's like it's never happened before. Yeah, so they're gonna call Towns here.
No, they're calling Johnson for the hold on Towns.
Oh, they are calling Johnson. Okay, yeah, that's the right call. Thank you. Brunson with a nice little forearm for Castle. Good screen set by Towns. Now they have Johnson on him, and they've got Wembanyama on Hart. Towns on the drive. There's Wembanyama on the help. Towns actually went into him, almost got that to fall, but didn't happen. Spurs got to be better offensively. This is the guy they should attack. They haven't gone after Brunson at all, and now they do, and he picks up a foul.
That foul is called. Josh Hart was helping. The foul is on the dig there. Hart's first. These 2 fouls at the beginning of this stretch after the timeout, those are the first 2 of the game.
Landry Shamet will replace Anunoby here, and Harper, especially with him in, their pace will pick up because Fox just isn't attacking in transition like that in his current state. Here's Castle going to try Shamet, cuts him off, goes into him and through him for the bucket. Just
great
raw power there
yeah.
by Castle. Legally that time, not using the off-fire. Oh, nice crossover. Brunson gets Castle on his back. Peel switch, didn't happen quickly enough. Missed by Hart up top. That's a key shot. Now Johnson, can he go right at Brunson? That's the idea. Bridges comes over. Brunson tried to take the charge. Neither person was successful, and the Knicks have it. Wembanyama on Bridges in the corner. They move it. Towns in the post against Johnson. Victor coming over. Goes to the straight double. They are really respecting Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, what a steal by Victor as he was retreating to his man. Now it's going to be Johnson. No, underneath Castle. Goes through Hart. No, another miss at the rim, and they call a foul on Hart. I thought he got that clean.
It's a little early for a challenge, but if it's obvious to the Knicks coaching staff, you consider it because it's his second.
Let's see. Yeah, you got him in the head. Don't challenge.
Yep. Too hard.
I actually looked for that clip the other day. I mean, I guess I could go back and find it myself. I was hoping it would just be on social media. Apparently, we were the only ones who were so captivated by that.
Yeah, there is somebody created it. I saw this recently. It's like a YouTube search engine, but it's not within YouTube itself. But I can't. But even too hard might be hard to find.
Yeah, no, I think so. Like innocuous Jalen Duran, although it was at the end of one of those games, right?
I believe it was.
I could
one of those
surely
crazy
find it
comebacks.
within 10 minutes. It was in the Detroit New York series last year. Must have been. Castle, second free throw is good. Anunoby has replaced Hart, so Mike Brown forced to change up his rotation. Good pressure again by San Antonio against Bridges. They're going to try to run Brunson off the ball here. He again rejects. Cornette is in. Anunoby waited for him to get there and then tried to blow by him. He's trying to carve out space. Shamet moving well without the ball. Johnson lost him. Towns on the glass against Castle, trying to fight it up over Cornette. Not close. Wanted the foul. Can they get? Oh, he throws to Harper on the left side. Not there. Instead, Castle. Good help by Brunson. He sensed it, and Johnson, I think, hit the backboard from the corner. Here comes Brunson. Crosses the formation. Castle picks him up. Back to Towns. Towns interacts with Brunson. Almost an illegal screen. Brunson trying to draw the foul. Can't do that. Harper, beautiful pass ahead to Vassell. Spurs love to run for threes. About 50% of their transition shots are threes. And a cheap foul there on Johnson. That's the second he's committed going for offensive rebounds. Yeah. He's telling the bench, don't take me out. Don't worry, buddy. You're not closing, but they are going to take him out. Maybe just because they don't want to play him right now anyway.
There have been 4 fouls committed in this game. They've been by 2 individuals, 2 on Hart and 2 on Keldon Johnson. One of those is more impactful than the other.
Yeah, now if they're taking Keldon Johnson out because he has 2 fouls in the first quarter, that seems absurd to me. If they're taking him out just because these are the guys they want in the game, that I understand. So Castle out, Harper in. Brunson has been effective with some of these rejections of the screen. Champagny was on Towns, and now Brunson wants to go past him. Kicks it. No, Harper with the steal. Bridges, can he run him down? Harper, no, it blocked. No, foul. I was about to say.
Wasn't a full Tayshaun Prince there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That was still good speed there by Mikal Bridges, who's one of the fastest guys running in transition from defense to offense.
I think got him on the wrist.
Yeah, that said, yeah, obvious foul, but Dylan Harper should also just be able to shoot a layup and not get blocked there and get 2 points. He was going for the big finish. I know he got fouled. Maybe he makes both these free throws, but wouldn't have been hard to avoid that wild block attempt.
And here is Mitchell Robinson. He of the broken right pinky can see the wrap of sorts it looks like he has on his hand. And Miles McBride is also in.
Who do you think has the better bench?
I think Harper is the best bench player in the series, but the Knicks maybe overall. I mean, McBride and Robinson are both very good.
Yeah. Good screen by Robinson. And that's going to lead to this. But Cornette, beautiful pick and roll defense, took away the lob pass. Now Harper. Shamet, good defense by him. Dylan Harper is just too good of a finisher, though. That was really nice.
I'll be interested. I'm sure we're going to get some Harper contested finish by OG Anunoby in this series. I'm very interested to see how that goes. But Luke Cornette's feet have been fantastic during these first few minutes. He basically defended OG Anunoby on an isolation and did pretty well, and then was able to get back on that deflection.
Yeah, and to avoid the block, not only to absorb the contact from Shamet, but then to avoid the block from Anunoby, that was just fantastic by Harper. And he gives San Antonio the lead. New York has been stuck on 14 for some time, and that's with Wembanyama out of the game. Brunson, trapped near the sideline by Cornette and Harper, gets off the ball, but the Spurs are in good order. No advantage out of that trap. Now they'll try an Anunoby attack off the pick and roll. Anunoby comes to a 2-foot stop. That's the right pass. Brunson for 3. Good box out by Cornette against that monster offensive rebounder Robinson. This is Fox's first attack. Sets up Harper right wing, and a 3 finally goes down for San Antonio. They're on the run now.
Spurs are 2 of 9 from 3.
Oh, Brunson, I thought he traveled on that jump stop. Instead, he's able to set up Shamet in the corner. Nice pick and roll operation there. They are, with things going well with Cornette on the floor, Victor getting a good rest. Champagnie in the corner trying to get it right back over Shamet.
Ooh.
Again, a withering pace with few foul calls so far. Brunson got Harper on his back. And Mitchell Robinson road graded Cornette out of there somehow. Did he miss that? Here's Champagnie for three. I was watching. I just assumed he was going to make that layup. I was watching Robinson run over Cornette. Missed three by Champagnie. Robinson looking to interact with Brunson. Yeah, what Robinson is doing right now is where everyone, again, is totally exhausted. What Robinson's doing right now is the equivalent of like the defensive lineman who just plays with the club on his hand in football. And it's like there's very few guys at any position who could play that way in basketball, but Mitchell Robinson, if you had to pick one guy in the whole league to play with a broken hand, he would probably be the number one pick.
Especially because it might not make his free throw shooting any worse. I just saw a couple jokes on social media about if this ends up being a rookie of the year situation and somehow the injury makes him better at free throw shooting, which would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I saw like some practice footage of him. Looked like he was still just shooting his normal shot.
Is Cornette more effective than Wembanyama on the glass against Robinson? Yes, he is. I mean, he can get a body into him. Cornette has a lot of experience with this kind of assignment because over the years with the Celtics and various other places, he's had to do this. So I think he has more experience and he just has more, his frame is more conducive to this kind of action.
Getting a bunch of questions here about Cornette and his effectiveness.
I think he's done a great job. His movement has been good. His offensive game is very limited, but his Cornette's energy, I mean, the fact that these minutes have gone totally fine for the San Antonio Spurs, they're +8. That's even better than fine. They're +8. Some of that, I mean, the Knicks missed a couple of shots that you'd expect to go in, but I think he's done a very good job. And especially considering these were Brunson on with Cornette, like those are the minutes that I thought were going to be more dangerous for the Spurs. And early small sample, but they've gone better than I expected. Are you guys surprised at all how many people are picking the Knicks in the series? No, not at all. It was a legitimately tough call. The Knicks are playing really, really well right now. They beat the Spurs on the unusual 3 times they played this year. They not only did they beat the Spurs in 2 out of 3, but the 2 they won were blowouts and the one they lost was close. And so I think the Spurs are playing better right now. But no, it didn't surprise me. And then if you want to get into the psychology of major market team, hasn't been there in a while, that type of stuff. But no, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I was torn.
Yeah, when I went on with Nate Silver on Monday, he said that the implied odds were Knicks 37%. I would take the over on that.
So would I.
Especially, again, Harper looking like he's up to probably 90% or so really helps. Fox is looking pretty decrepit so far. What's happened, Danny, for the Knicks in this stretch where they've been struggling to score?
They've missed a couple shots around the basket. They also had a couple of turnovers. That beautiful Harper pick 6 was one of them. And so I think those have both been challenges for them so far.
Well, I would say the biggest thing is Karl Anthony Towns went off the floor.
True.
Yeah, so I guess maybe not. So let's see. They have not scored since the 6:59 mark. And Towns, he actually was on there for most of that. So I misspoke there. I think they've gotten some pretty decent looks too.
Agreed.
They've turned it over a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, they've had like 3 turnovers during this period. So Victor is back now, and he's going to match up against Mitchell Robinson. Harrison Barnes is going to get some tick now for San Antonio. Both coaches going a little bit deeper into their rotations. Knicks largely have stayed with that approach, but they've also not really been threatened in a series either. Champagnie, aggressive switch onto Brunson. Now they want to go after Barnes. Victor waiting to come over. Brunson has to take the fadeaway, and you could see where even though he blew by Barnes, he was not going to get any closer than 15 feet. Here's Harper going at Shamet. Good help by Robinson. Kick out. They move it. Robinson trying to close down Barnes. Barnes with the right pass out to Fox. Now Champagnie moving into the corner. Beautiful play there. And they're going to give a foul in favor of Harrison Barnes, too, in the rebounding action.
That was great off-ball movement from Champagnie. OG Anunoby had clocked where he was, so he moved during the drive because Anunoby was doing a dig to slow down the drive, and that's how you can get an open shot. Oh, Jalen Brunson holding his right knee.
See if we can catch what happened to him here. He's already, I think, limping at this point. Oh.
Ooh.
No, actually. I don't think that's too bad. I think that's okay. As he misses the free throw, McBride recovers the rebound. See, yeah, Brunson, he's not moving great right now in the corner. Wow, what a bummer that would be if that ends up being a big issue for him. I mean, and there's good pressure by Fox. McBride, not a great ball handler. They're already down to 8. They haven't done anything. Here's McBride firing the 3, well off the heel, and I thought that might go in for a second.
He's not Halliburton.
No, that one was even higher than the Halliburton. Here's Barnes working on Robinson, kicks out. Harper has the matchup against Brunson. Steps through. Man, his touch is unbelievable.
And how firm how Harper can be with that left arm, even though the contest is coming right on. He just doesn't care. It helps that it's Jalen Brunson, but that was really impressive.
So this is now a 20-3 Spur run, 3 points in 5:32 for New York, and their 2-point shooting has really fallen off now. One of the big issues has been transition. Spurs already with 13 transition points on 8 plays, 2 on 6 for New York.
And even though Mitchell Robinson has been on the floor for a while now, the Knicks only have 3 offensive rebounds and they only have 3 second chance points. And Robinson's been on the floor for 3 minutes, and I think they got most of that before he checked in.
Yeah, I made this point with Nate as well. He asked me whether I thought a high or low foul game or series benefited either team. I thought low foul benefited San Antonio.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Because they're just going to play more physically, pressure more on the perimeter.
So Hoop Fan asked, is Dylan Harper number 2 or number 3 top prospect now? I wouldn't have him over Wembanyama. Wembanyama still counts by our listing. Flag, of course, still counts in our listing. He's still extremely young. I wouldn't have him over either of those guys, but it becomes a conversation after that.
Yeah, let me see.
Ooh, well, Brunson going to the locker room?
Yeah, and this is not a time when he would normally... Man, if he got hurt on that stupid play, here's Alvarado, and this is not normally when Brunson would go out, by the way, and especially when they're getting beat on a run. Nice tip by Bridges, but, I mean, is this going to happen? Are we going to get robbed of this finals because Jalen Brunson got hurt on a play like that? Here's Wembanyama looking to spin on Towns. Good dig by Alvarado. Wembanyama, not a good shot there. They are scoring pretty well. I think they could do better than that. They are trying to get really established it. Now Wembanyama out on Towns. Back screen. No. Bridges slips out of there. They want to run a pick and roll with Alvarado. Wembanyama with the late switch. Post up Towns. And they'll get a call here, I think, on Champagnie. And that will enable the Knicks to get a 2-for-1.
It will, but it's not free throws because that is the 4th team foul on the Spurs. And I would actually consider having Wembanyama and Alvarado here. I know I handle the ball a lot, so it's not the same utility, but at least I'd consider it.
Castle will take out Harrison Barnes, who played well, and his flop into Brunson's knee might end up being the key play of the series. Good denial by Harper, pushing Alvarado further out on the floor. They do a late switch here to get Harper onto Towns. Wembanyama is on Alvarado. Fires it over him, and almost actually made that. The Knicks did not get the 2-for-1 in the end. Spurs should run it down with only about a 2-second differential. See, can Fox just go right at Alvarado at the end of the clock? Can we see that? Backs him off a little bit. Now gets him on his heels, inside out, between the legs, out to Castle. Didn't take that 3. He's going to try to work his way in on Bridges, who got a great contest that time. Great defense by Mikal Bridges. And New York, though, man, everybody's holding their breath right now on Jalen Brunson. Never mind that they're down by 8.
And a huge 20-5 run for the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks had this great start when there were no stoppages, and then after that, the Spurs defense really started holding up. I brought up the Knicks had 1.4 points per half court play early on in the game. They finished it at 0.63, 12 points on 19 half court plays.
To answer everyone's question earlier, Dylan Harper would be my number 3 top prospect right now behind Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg. Yeah, so he would have, and then, when did we do this? We did this like early January. He basically had not played very much due to that calf issue.
Well, and the jump shooting changed from January to he started making all his threes.
Yeah, that's almost just a little side benefit there. So yeah, this was my ranking. I would definitely have some big changes to this. Wembanyama, Flagg, Holmgren, Şengün, Duren. Let's see some changes to that by next year. Knipple, Banchero, Harper, Sarr, Amen, Reed Shepherd, VJ Edgecombe, Castle, who would have to be higher now too, Cedric Coward, and then Keontae George. Yeah, a lot of these guys have not looking great since January.
Mine is loading right now. Yeah, thrilling that we got to see this many guys play in the playoffs. So I had Wembanyama 1, Flagg 2, Holmgren 3, Harper 4, Şengün 5, then Reed Shepherd, Knipple, Keontae George, Castle, Banchero, Coward, Sarr, Duren, Amen.
Why can't Wembanyama play a full quarter? It's pretty rare that big men will. Especially San Antonio, they've been on this for a while, that it's better for guys to play shorter stints. They've always played their guys in 3 stints per half. I think that makes a lot more sense too, frankly, just the way I play basketball. It's like once I mean, obviously I'm not at this level, but when I did play, you sit on the bench, you recover, and then why are you going to sit on the bench for another 4 minutes after that? Would I have Harper over Flagg now? No, I would not.
Especially because Flagg, we didn't see it as much in his rookie year, but he has so much defensive potential. By the way, because we didn't mention on the pod, I completely forgot that the Mavericks haven't hired their head coach yet, because I had thought about Sweeney as an option for them, but he's got the Orlando Magic job.
Yeah, I think again they said that it wouldn't prejudice him that he had a connection to the previous era, but I think Masai is gonna. They said that, or at least that was reported. I think also the Magic were willing to go pretty hard for him. So, still have concerns about Harper's ability to get his jumper off with his form. To some degree, I do. Yeah, I think he is so powerful and such a good driver that it's not as much of an issue. But yeah, it certainly is suboptimal.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the bigger thing is that it's going in at a pretty crazy rate right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see what we're hearing about Brunson on the Twitterverse. But right now, Spurs with Barnes at the elbow goes weak side off the Wembanyama screen. Good closeout there by McBride. Now Wembanyama down to 5, hands off. They got nothing going here, down to 3. Victor's going to have to take one from the hash mark. Almost banked it in. Alvarado got a hand on it. Does not save it. It'll be San Antonio ball. Great effort there. Everything was so pushed. As you see Brunson there going to get some work on in that. I think it's his left knee. But you could see everyone was so far above the 3-point line that no one was left to get a rebound.
Mm-hmm.
And this will actually be a fresh 24 for San Antonio. Screen away here for Fox. Turns the corner right down the lane. Victor, that's too slow of a roll for Victor, but it didn't matter. He's just so big. They're going to say foul before the shot, but he should have rolled faster there.
But that was a nice job by De'Aaron Fox reading Karl-Anthony Towns reacting to the jumper and instead making it a pass to Wembanyama.
Castle guarded by Anunoby. They want to force him to his right hand so he can't get close enough to that screening action for Victor. Barnes was open, missed the three-pointer. Fox trying to apply pressure on Alvarado. He goes to his right, never looked back to Towns. So that's their scheme right now, is they are going to force the guard to get into the paint against Wembanyama, and once the guard engages Wembanyama, they will late switch back onto Towns' pick and pop.
That foul is on De'Aaron Fox. That is his team's first. In terms of potential foul trouble, Shamet has 2, Hart has 2, Keldon Johnson has 2.
Towns at the elbow, now Alvarado. There's that same coverage again. Towns going to work on it, but Alvarado not a huge threat. Here's McBride, three-pointer. Good rotation by Champagny. Didn't matter. And finally, New York with a three-pointer to cut it to 5. Victor is open here. Towns didn't really get back, but Anunoby, he's been so good at those digs. He's gotten a couple of deflections on Victor already. Now Towns. Victor is there. He's too far up on him. And he does block him from behind somehow, but he doesn't need to be that close to him. Like, let Karl Anthony Towns prove that he can make a shot over your 10-foot standing reach if you stand 3 feet away from him instead of 3 inches away from him.
And Towns complaining he got all ball first.
15 to shoot, plenty of time here. Alvarado working with Towns again. They do the late switch. Alvarado. Oh, how did Victor get there? They're going to call it goaltend. That's how he got there.
Did he goaltend that?
We're going to find out. I don't know that he did.
I don't think that's a goaltend.
And the ball's still on the way up. I couldn't tell from there if it hit. They're going to the 45 pick and roll this time. Castle up to Victor, and another foul call. I think they're going to get OG on this one.
McBride.
Okay.
Second team foul.
Yeah, you could see the Knicks were a little bit more aggressive with the 2 defenders on the screener, trying to force to one side there. Yeah, OG on Castle. I like that matchup for New York because they can certainly switch any actions there. They are not going to do that. I think they should do that. I think Towns could handle Castle on a switch, and OG could handle Victor.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, they did not switch it. They're giving up a lot in pick and roll. Here's Towns again. Why is he up on him so much? I mean, maybe just to prevent the passing stuff. Castle in transition. Here's Victor. He's fouled from behind again. Is that going to be Towns or Alvarado? Alvarado desperately trying to take credit for the foul.
It is given to Alvarado, and that is the 3rd Knicks foul in the second quarter, all non-shooting on Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, these are some really nice drives by Towns, but and perhaps maybe the Spurs, are they really trying to invite the Towns drive? Are they trying to tire him out and hope that he misses and they can get transition going the other way? Is that what this is? Because I mean, I know really they're trying to put on pressure. You know, it's one thing maybe to do that if it's Brunson where you got to be up, you would think, with Victor if there's a handoff. But Alvarado, like, you can't go under on him. I think there's a lot other stuff they could be doing. But, I mean, their defense overall has been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, Danny, the other thing that we got to talk about here is just how much more effective Harper has been than Fox. And yes, we're on that watch again of whether Harper is going to close halves over Fox or not.
And Nate, what is your timing where if Brunson is not on the floor by X, you're legitimately worried?
Call it about 2 minutes from now.
Okay.
Unless it's going really well for New York during that time. Towns looking to post up on Vassell. Victor comes over. They should also do a scram there. Now Shamet pulling up. Nice defense by Castle. Harper just back onto the floor in transition. Back out Castle. Looks for Vassell. His three-pointer over Towns. Not even close. Knicks looking to cut it to a one-possession lead. Spurs offense has gone cold here to start. Here's Alvarado. Good Gortat screen set by Towns. Wembanyama, again, I don't know where he is. Why is he and Brunson?
He was on Anunoby, but like you just have to get back. You concede some other stuff to take away the things around the basket.
Castle. Anunoby again. He's been so good so far. Here's Alvarado. Backs it out to the corner. Runs into 3 other Knicks. McBride doesn't care, but he misses the 3. Now Victor. This is where he should go faster. He doesn't go fast. Towns gives him a little chuck. Victor tries to get him in the air. Oh, yes! What a step through, but a block by Towns somehow.
I thought that was
3
a foul.
on 3. Here's Shaman in the corner. Castle didn't get out there fast enough. Good box out by Harper on McBride. Outlets it to Victor. Harper looking a little tired. Victor is going to try again. Now, nice pass there by Victor. That's the nice, easy pass, but Harper shot a line drive that wasn't really close.
Brunson's at the table. Good.
Yeah, I said that already.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Everyone else is paying rapt attention. Here's McBride. Nice cutoff by Harper. Tries to use the screen. Harper gets back in front. No advantage. Now Anunoby working on Barnes. Victor comes over. Nice pass. And Victor finally commits the foul. He says he didn't foul him. Towns is down, but maybe he got hit in the face.
That is an alternate version of the Westbrook kind of drive-in screen where you occupy Wembanyama enough to set up the pass to the teammate where Wembanyama. I mean, he could have theoretically contested that better.
Yeah, OG's thrown some pretty good passes so far, actually. He had that one out where he drove and threw it back out to the top for a Brunson 3 that I think missed. And, yeah, Victor hit him right in the face, so I don't really know what he's complaining about there.
The face is part of the ball, Nate.
Oh, and Towns, he actually hit his head on the hardwood there.
So somebody made a comment, Seth Riv, about hit the backboard as soon as you can with English with Wembanyama's arms. I've actually made this argument before that the way to beat a great shot blocker is to make it so that it's impossible for them to actually block the shot, but it's really hard to get that consistently. Oh, they're challenging?
Yeah, they're saying that there's a hook here. Yeah, you know what? Actually, this is going to get overturned because he pulls his arm down into his own face. You guys will see the replay of it in a little bit here, but I think this actually will get overturned into an offensive foul. So that would be how many on Towns? That's just his first. Yeah, pretty interesting numbers here, Danny, in terms of the plus minus. Top plus minus on the Knicks is Towns with a +8. And top plus minus on the Spurs is Harper +11. Wembanyama is -5.
Yeah, and Cornette +8.
1 of 5 on twos for Victor.
The possession battle so far, pretty much a draw. San Antonio 33 true shots, the Knicks 32. Knicks have a 25% offensive rebound rate, Spurs 20.
All right, Foster's going to deliver it here. So it is, in fact, an overturn offensive foul on Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a pretty good I mean, Wembanyama, I guess, experienced it and told him to challenge. But that's a pretty good catch there. I didn't see that one on the first look. I was looking more to Wembanyama hitting him in the face. I didn't see the opposite arm of Towns.
And it is, well, technically a new one. It is in line with the way Karl-Anthony Towns commits fouls. Seemingly random, always on offense.
So now we'll get a look at Jalen Brunson and see how he's moving out there.
And unfortunately, it comes up in every playoffs. But when a player is hurt, and hopefully Brunson is not severely hurt, it isn't just about can they play or can they not. It's how limited are they. And
yeah,
we'll learn a lot over the next few minutes.
Let's see if there's anything else we can check in on here. Shot charts are Knicks are 8 of 13 at the rim.
5 of 7 inside 5 feet in the half court.
And with Wembanyama on, they are 8 of 11. And Towns has had a lot of nice drives. So that was not something that I expected the Knicks to be this effective going to the rim, but it really is all Towns. And so I think they are trying to avoid, this is maybe one disadvantage for how the roster is built. Now, perhaps more Keldon Johnson or more Barnes could be a way out of having Wembanyama guarding Karl-Anthony Towns. Here's Harper working on Bridges, tried to get him in the air, probably should have just taken that shot. Now Castle down to 5. Hart is back in the game after the early foul trouble, but Clarkson digs in on him for a cheap foul.
And that is the 4th foul on the Knicks. The Spurs will be shooting free throws for the rest of the half. None of those fouls were shooting fouls. So they committed 4 non-shooting fouls in 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah, Carter Bryant's another guy who maybe could get some time on Towns. Oh, Castle was open underneath. Instead, they go to Vassell off the Cornet screen. Good dig. And Vassell had Harper wide open there. Just the Knicks digging has been really effective on San Antonio. They got to do a better job of passing the ball to the next pass. Here's Hart. Alley-oop. Oh, Robinson put it on the head of Cornet and one. Didn't quite dunk on him because it was a block and it wasn't he didn't really pull the rim down, but 2 points nonetheless, and maybe another quarter of expected value at the line. Look at this.
And Robinson controlled that pretty well with his right hand relative to my expectations.
Yeah, and the foul hit him right in the face. Yeah, he's giving high fives with that hand
with
too.
Your left hand, Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, baby. Yeah, I mean, he's got probably a pretty hard brace on there. He's probably, there's the missed free throw, so
that
Harper
didn't look any
outlets
better.
it to Fox. Castle is back on the bench. Harper, weak side Vassell, now Bryant. Going to look to get it to Fox, and Clarkson picks up his second foul, and that'll be free throws for San Antonio. We haven't seen much of Carter Bryant at the foul line. Interested to see how this goes.
And so that is the Spurs got into the bonus and then are now shooting free throws, all 5 fouls non-shooting.
So has Brunson actually come back in yet?
Yeah, he was on
yeah,
the
there
cell.
he is. Okay. All right, yeah, I gotta look more carefully.
In the early going here, the Spurs 2 points on 7 half-court plays in the second quarter so far. The Knicks 9 on 7.
All right, yeah, my box scores hadn't updated yet. So Carter Bryant will get a turn on Brunson, who does seem to be running a little bit better. He's never the smoothest runner and the best at times. Harper switching on to Brunson. Now Brunson rejects the screen. Looked pretty decent doing that. Clarkson missed the 3. Harper has been excellent on the boards, getting it out to Fox. Let's see if Fox can get an attack here. Brunson with good gap. And again, Fox getting it to Harper too late off of that gap. But Harper now, he actually makes the pass to Fox, who guns the 3. Fox now 0-4 from outside. Will he get another chance here off the Harper pass? Nice move. Goes up over Brunson. Didn't have the explosion to get it to the rim. It was short. Brunson working on Vassell. Drives it over Cornet. Robinson missed the dunk. Yeah, maybe that was his hand.
He shook his right hand after the miss.
Yeah, maybe he was just pissed off. And then they don't get back quickly enough. And finally, the Spurs get an easy transition layup. So that was a huge swing there. Rim miss by Robinson. Rim make by San Antonio. Surprised they're not trying to deny Brunson once he gives the ball up here. So they're going to go at Vassell. I mean, Vassell I think he's a pretty decent matchup against Brunson. Let's see if Brunson can score on him. Yeah, he can. But now he's down. Oh, it looks like something happened with his ankle. He's upset. Here comes Brunson, kicks it out. 3 for Vassell. Or sorry, not Brunson. That was Harper. Brunson is furious with Scott Foster. And I didn't see what happened to him here. I might go back and check that, actually.
I'm somewhat hopeful ESPN will actually, or ABC, whatever, will show this.
All right, let's see. So he goes up. I think his foot get stepped on there by Cornet.
Cornet stepped on his foot, but he's just landing after a contest, and it's not the full weight. I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, when you've already gotten hurt, you just get mad at stuff because you there's this wounded animal feeling out on the floor, and you're just very protective of yourself in sometimes irrational ways.
And I didn't think that was there was anything nefarious there from Cornet. He did the contest. He didn't look down and see that Brunson was there, from what I could tell.
No, and I didn't think it was a foul on Brunson initially either, right?
Agreed. Yeah, so now the Knicks 10 of 17 inside 5 feet, 7 of 10 in the half court, 1 of 3 in transition, 2 of 4 second chance. And late clock, 7 points for the Knicks on 10 shots. And then the Spurs only 2 late clock points on 6 shots.
Yeah, this is what's actually killing New York. You mentioned their great rim shooting at the in the half court. They have 2 transition points on 10 plays now.
Oof.
And San Antonio, San Antonio has scored 21 of their 37 points in transition.
That's incredible. And they've only done it on 14 plays. So it's not, they're living their lives there. I mean, their attempt rate is their frequency is pretty good. But I mean, the Knicks, it's not transition turnovers. They only have 1 transition turnover. It's that they're 1 for 3 at the rim and 0 for 3 from 3 in transition.
And meanwhile, San Antonio is 0.6 points per play in the half court, which is definitely an issue. They're 6 of 21 in the half court, 3 shots at the rim, 10 threes, and 8 other twos. So their half court offense does not look great. I think the biggest reason for that is that they just have not been making the simple play. The Knicks are really gapping hard off of them and challenging them to make, and they don't have great above the break 3-point shooters either. I think what I would try to do is get your best shooters more above the breaks to take advantage of that gapping strategy where you could just, all right, we'll take an open 3 from Vassell or Champagny 1 pass away.
So Nate, Towns on, Wembanyama on. The Knicks are outscoring the Spurs 25-15, and that's only shooting 3 of 10 from 3. Now, the Spurs are 1 of 10 from 3, and that's straight shoots. So it's not like they're on fire offensively, but that's pretty important.
Brian says, Spurs in 5 before the series. Haven't seen anything to dissuade me from that. Well, I did pick that as one of my 3 most likely outcomes when you asked me before.
Yeah. I think the Knicks have scored well enough in the half court. Now, there are ways I think the Spurs can do a much better job defending in the half court than they have. There's some kind of basic process stuff. And I like Carter Bryant defending Jalen Brunson here. Size, strength.
Does ESPN do long? Oh, yeah, right, we're back. Actually, never mind. We'll get to that next time, hopefully. Yeah, Dylan Harper picking up very far away from his own basket. And good pressure there, wasting 8 seconds. Now Brunson working on his fellow number 11, steps through off the heel, tipped around. No, he went to go get his own offensive rebound. Brilliant move there by Brunson. So he's looking okay. Now Bridges is a better matchup for Harper, who's been good so far. They try to screen for Fox. That was an illegal screen by Vassell, and the ad just got called.
I think that's only the second foul on the Spurs so far. But I think that was a good job by Carter Bryant in the base defense, making the shot hard on Brunson. And Brunson, I could see him generating a lot of fouls on Bryant because Bryant's so aggressive. But I think it's looked good.
We'll see. He's standing in front of him right now. Good pressure here by Bryant. Brunson trying to step through. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's the type of play that having Wembanyama on the floor, as it seems like the Knicks are maybe trying to match up Robinson with Cornette now. Good denial by Bridges on Vassell. Now it's Fox looking to turn the corner. Robinson picks him up. Fox, no advantage. He's against Shaman. Now he should be able to get this shot off. He does. And, man, another miss by Fox.
De'Aaron Fox, 1 of 7 from the field.
Yeah, we'll see who closes the half. This will be interesting. Bridges couldn't find the handle. Now gets it to Clarkson, who falls down. Somehow got it to Brunson. Down to 8. Brunson going to try to ISO on Carter Bryant. Brunson on the drive. Man, these are really difficult shots that he's hitting against a really good defender. He's honestly looked better against Carter Bryant. Here's Harper blowing by everyone. That's transition off a make, I think, to put San Antonio back in front. But I was saying Brunson, he's looked better against Carter Bryant than Shea did, I would say. Now, worth noting that this is with Victor Wembanyama off the floor. Let's see what happens when he gets out here. Here's Bridges off the pick and roll with Robinson, who's been setting some solid screens.
And that was a nice job by Bridges not being bothered by the rear view contest from Vassell.
That's the right pass by Fox. Carter Bryant can't cash that out. Good box out by Robinson. Bryant again. That's good. That's good pressure after a miss to be picking him up that far before half court. And now they're going to give Brunson a total cheapo foul, which is he's done twice right before TV timeouts. Oh no, it's not a TV timeout. Excuse me. It looked like he was walking to the bench. Yeah, I'm going to turn the YouTube ads off, actually. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can. I'll do that at the next break. We don't even really. The only reason maybe to turn it on is just that it would get us more visibility in the YouTube algorithm, but we don't really make any money off of it. So
did Mikal Bridges think that Mitchell Robinson was Victor Wembanyama? He threw that about 15 feet above the basket.
Yeah, that was pretty far up there. All right, here comes the 45 pick and roll again. They want to involve Brunson. He goes away from it towards Robinson. Kick out. Finally, they take advantage of that gap. It's easier to do when it's Clarkson instead of Anunoby and when it's to the corner instead of to the wing. Brunson got a screen in the backcourt. Fox trying to keep him out of the middle. Gets another screen from Robinson. Tough shot by Brunson. Good box out by Harper on Clarkson, who's become an offensive rebounding fiend. Harper picked up by Clarkson. He can't take him. Wembanyama will take the three over Robinson. Not close. They got to get back to the Wembanyama pick and roll. They were dominating with that earlier. Harper switching. I mean, this is actually a harder matchup for Brunson. He's going to go right back at it. Now rejects into the lane. Kick out. Shamet. Good closeout by Johnson. Fade away three by Shamet is good nonetheless. Victor trying to push it up against Mitchell Robinson. Brunson comes over to help. Robinson, good defense, and that's just such a cheap call, but Brunson's getting the same one, and that'll be free throws for Wembanyama.
And I thought Shamet, he has so much experience with this. The closeout came, but getting the one dribble footwork shot, that is a really tough shot mechanically, but Shamet has been hitting that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If we get some tips, YouTube gets their pound of flesh from that. So then we still will be boosted in the algorithm, despite the fact that I don't know this to be true. I'm just speculating, despite the fact we don't have ads.
Clint asks, is Jordan Clarkson the worst rotation player in the series? He won't be every night, but in terms of pure talent level, I would say.
Because he might not play every night.
Yeah, well, and because guys like Keldon Johnson can have these really bad cold games where he just makes bad decisions, but Keldon Johnson is a meaningfully better player than Clarkson.
Sure. All right, so are we at closing time here? 2:24. We do not see Fox on the floor. Victor puts San Antonio back in front. Brunson is getting a rest now, but he certainly looked plenty healthy when he was out there. Does he have any foul issues? I wonder why he's going out right now.
No, he has 0 fouls.
Yeah, why is he out? Here, OG shooting over Johnson. Spurs push it up. Victor looking to attack Shamet. Weak side. That's the right pass. Champagny. Oh, yeah. Nice.
I was a little frustrated that Wembanyama didn't attack Shamet, but that pass was great.
Castle switching on Alvarado. He wanted to go at Champagny, but that's not what OG Anunoby was thinking. Karl Anthony Towns looking to interact now with Bridges. Towns getting held a little bit by Wembanyama. Kick out, and it's Alvarado for three. Beautiful drive again by the Knicks. They are puncturing the paint successfully, but it's all because they're getting Wembanyama out on the floor. Castle on the drive. Weak side Champagny looking for 2 in a row. He's got 2 in a row.
And a nice job there looking to attack, using the threat of the attack to make the pass.
The gravity of Wembanyama is Castle going to get called for this? Yeah, he held Mikal Bridges going to the rim on that slip.
But that is, I believe, that's definitely the 4th team foul in the Spurs, and I believe it's the first in the last 2 minutes. So that was a short rest for Brunson. Good to see him back on the floor.
Yeah, here you can see Alvarado has to come in. Castle, he's one of the best in the league these days at throwing that weak side pass to the opposite corner. He's so used to it with Wembanyama rolling to the basket. Castle now on Brunson. Back screen for Anunoby. Now he gets the screen from Towns. Castle got the deflection. They'll try again. Brunson picked up by Wembanyama. Here we go. Wembanyama giving him space. Brunson puts him in the yo-yo. Got a good look. Just in and out. But there's the other part of that, which is Towns on the offensive glass. He's going to get 2 free throws. If they're going to give that switch up, Brunson versus Wembanyama, that's pretty interesting. But then Karl-Anthony Towns against the smaller Spurs on the glass can make them pay even if Brunson misses.
Foul called on Stephon Castle. That is his second personal. The only person with 3 is Josh Hart. That's a big part of why Hart has only played 7 minutes. But impressive for the Knicks to have put on this stout a defensive performance in the second quarter with Josh Hart basically not playing.
Absolutely.
Hart has only played 37 seconds in the second quarter. I did say this has been a fantastic first half for Karl-Anthony Towns. Makes that free throw, so that is 8 points on 3 of 7 from the field, but it's more the quality of shots and how he's been able to disrupt this Spurs defense.
45 pick and roll again. They're going more towards the big man side now. Castle, that's pretty decent defense by New York. These are shots that they can give up off of that play. Oh, pick 6 here by Fox on Brunson, and he dunks it down. Great pressure by Fox, who did come back into the game to close the half. I've been saying he should close the half. They try a little split cut action on one side. Now Bridges interacting on the other. Towns again going at Wembanyama. Good help by Castle. Towns misses, tips it. Couldn't get it in.
While there's a little stop, one of the other things the Spurs, if they're going to keep Wembanyama on Towns, have somebody draw a charge on these Towns drives. Not fun physically, but you can get calls.
Yeah, Towns not known for his passing on drives. So he's been better in the playoffs. Oh, beautiful between the legs by Fox. Here's a 3 by Champagny. He's got 3 in a row with 1.6 remaining. And Victor, he just blocked that. That's fantastic. All right, we'll be back for the second half. I'm gonna try to figure out how to turn the ads off in the middle of the stream, but not sure if I can do that. We'll talk to y'all for the second half. All right, second half. And if y'all are on Prime Stats, we got a good one from Sauce Slinger. I want to invite all of you to pick out some of your biggest stats from the first half from the site. But the biggest one that we have here, Sauce had it pretty obvious, 25-2 in transition points. And that's even with the Knicks having 12 transition plays, 2 points. And Danny, you mentioned it earlier, but if you want to explain to us why it is where the Knicks have been failing in transition from the field and
they only have 2 transition turnovers. So going back to that Pistons game, that can be a big problem for some teams. But they're 1 for 4 in the break at the rim and 0 for 4 on transition threes, and then they have 2 other shots that also missed.
So Spurs with first possession, they drew blood at the end of the first half. Back screen here for Vassell on the weak side. Now they screen for Victor. Champagny popping out, and we're going to get a chuck here on Karl Anthony Towns as Victor was rolling to the near side block.
They called this on Mikal Bridges, so that is his second.
Okay. Brunson looks to be past whatever injury Scary would have had. He's on Champagny now. He screens for Victor to the foul line. Victor shoots from there and can't rim it in. To me, he should just take that. I think he should just take that shot, though. He's dribbling. He's hesitating. If he's open, just take the shot right there. He's a good shooter. Now Brunson got Fox switched onto him. Towns at the elbow. They'll work their off-ball screening game. Screen for Anunoby, who's been quiet offensively. Fox switches onto him. Great pass by Towns. Victor closing, though. Anunoby passes back out. Brunson back to Hart. His three-pointer? No. Long. Tipped by Vassell, and they get it ahead again. More transition coming here for San Antonio. No, they kick it out. Victor blowing through everyone and lost it. He said it was off of Brunson. He wants a review, but probably not worth spending here. And
yeah, because it's their last challenge, because they already used one successfully.
Exactly. Yeah, San Antonio, 6 turnovers. All of them have been pretty ugly. Brunson getting it to Towns. Victor goes for the steal. That releases Anunoby to the basket. And Victor with the block, but Fox had to give up the foul first. So Wembanyama, maybe not quite his skill set to go for the Zion Williamson shot out of a cannon back shoulder steal.
And in terms of foul trouble, Josh Hart has 3, and a bunch of other guys have 2.
Champagny on OG. Good job by Fox switching on him on the back screen to take that away. Towns at the elbow. They get in their screening action again. Bridges, good denial by Champagny. Now Brunson finally coming to get it with 5 on the clock. Good gap by Champagny. Good rotation by Fox off the ball. OG left it short, and a great defensive possession with Vassell cleaning up the rebound.
And that was with Wembanyama on Hart.
Fox has been making some really nice off-ball rotations here. Now in the corner, it doesn't have the 3. Instead, Victor. He'll attack, and he's hit by Towns. Free throws coming for Victor Wembanyama to push it to a 9-point lead potentially.
Towns' second personal foul, second team foul for the Knicks in this third quarter. And the Spurs have done a really nice job of boxing out defensively. This is an extraordinarily small group other than Wembanyama in terms of both stature and strength. And they've been really diligent, which is what you have to be.
Yeah, the other note on the stats is the free throw disparity. Yeah, well, you can get that on any box score, but yeah, it does show that as well. Free throw rate, 24.5 per 100 possessions for San Antonio, which is not a crazy number that's going to go up here with these Victor free throws. That's a good number, nothing crazy. But then the Knicks only 5.7. They have 3 free throw attempts so far in the game.
The Knicks have drawn 11 fouls, but only one of them has been a shooting foul.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. A lot of times it seems like free throws disparity. It's like, well, you got the same number of foul calls. Here's Brunson turning the corner. Vassell late to switch onto. Again, good help by Fox. He's really been good defensively in an off-ball roll. Here's Anunoby, short jumper, rebounded by Wembanyama. Again, Wembanyama forces these guys to pull up from mid-range, maybe a step before they want to. Champagny looking for 6 out of 7. Not even close. Victor maybe tried to draw the push from Towns was not going to get that
And-
call, and it's still a 9-point game.
And that was a tougher shot mechanically for Champagny than the ones he hit in the first half. That was more on the move, a little bit early. He can make it, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I don't think they need a heat check from him. He just needs to keep taking the open shots he's getting. So Wembanyama is on Hart. We have not seen him on Karl Towns hardly at all. Brunson working Vassell. Vassell, good contest, and forced the air ball. Beautiful defense there.
Sneaky thing there, it didn't end up working. Bridges tried a back screen for Hart with Wembanyama on him. Wembanyama got through the screen.
Here's the 45 again. They faked their way into it. They're going at the big here, and then Castle is able to finish at the rim. So in the OKC series, they went at the small as Champagny gets a nice strip on Anunoby, who's been ineffective so far. But they're going at the big Towns here in these 45 pick and rolls rather than going at the small, which was Shea in the last series. Brunson, weak side. Anunoby, good closeout by Champagny. Anunoby tries. Wembanyama says, no, you're not doing that. But then Hart runs into his legs, and they've gotten a couple of fouls on Wembanyama, which is a rarity in his rim protection.
But that is a way of doing this for Josh Hart, which is kind of drive into his knees and fall down. You're not going to get the call every time, but if you're in the advantage position, you'll get it more often than not. Second team foul on the Spurs.
Yeah, another non-shooting foul for the Knicks. Vassell trying to make Towns' catch difficult. Hart now guarded by Wembanyama. Nice quick pass there by Josh Hart. They had that sideline out of bounds set up beautifully to take advantage of Wembanyama guarding on the perimeter. Now Fox working Anunoby. Out to Victor. Doesn't shoot that three. Can't turn the corner on Towns. Now he steps through. Towns with the reach in, and it'll be free throws for Wembanyama.
Yeah, Towns dropped his hand there. Had decent position on the contest, and that's his third personal. I think third.
Yeah, and I think that maybe is part of this feeling that they want Victor to drive too, but they just think Towns is going to pick up fouls. And I mean, that's just a bad foul right there.
Yeah.
Guess what? His arms are longer than yours.
That was nearly an awesome dig by Anunoby, though. He nearly got this ball.
Yeah, he's been really good overall. But yeah, Towns not even close to getting the strip in the end.
And one of the other things that's been hard for the Knicks is that not only have the Spurs gotten free throws, they've made them. They've only missed 2 free throws so far in the game.
Brian says it's weird. He's been talking up the Spurs the whole way. He thinks it's weird that people think a team whose best player is 6'1", below average athlete is going to be able to score consistently enough against the Spurs team. Well, Towns is really more even the reason for that to me than Brunson. Although I think Brunson has looked, again, with Towns to help him setting screens and spacing. But now Victor is back on Towns, interestingly. They're going to switch this up pretty regularly on set plays to give him a different look. Because remember, the last set play, they were taking advantage of Towns being guarded by a small. Anunoby go and catch. Fox again with good help defense, and they force another miss. They've had multiple air balls on jumpers. Fox has been all over the place as an off-ball defender. Wembanyama working on Towns. Towns, double team, kick out. 3 by Castle. No. I'd like to see Castle
Rudy
drive
Gobert's
that.
not guarding him. He's not hitting that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see Castle drive that ball. I thought he had the ball against a compromised defense. Now Bridges, he's going to try to take Victor one-on-one. This is not a good idea. Gets off the ball. Like if you got him on a shooter, you move the ball immediately. Now
they
Towns
should have
underneath.
switched that.
Oh, nice pass there, but Victor got back off the deflection. Bridges goes to the same fadeaway he probably would have got if he'd taken Victor to begin with. San Antonio, nice inside-out dribble. Fox going at Anunoby. Castle, a twisting reverse putback. Bridges again. There's that Spurs transition defense. That's the play where, as Brunson pulls the 3 on Victor, and the Knicks are really struggling to score right now. That's the play where the Knicks have been scoring, and now 2 guys went for the alley-oop. Is that going to be Towns with the foul again?
No, they called this on Brunson. Brunson holding Castle. Let's see. Nope, they're not showing that.
Did Victor actually block that? Is that why it was short?
He did not block it, but Anunoby changed the angle because he was getting there. He's not Isaiah Hartenstein yet.
So San Antonio already in the bonus now. And New York really fiending for a bucket. Harper is in the game. Castle behind the back. Beautiful pass. Wembanyama all day. Not there. More flying offensive rebounders for San Antonio. It's in Champagny's hands. Castle loads up from way up top. Not even close. That looked like
why shoot that with 11 on the clock?
I mean, he is wide open. That one I don't
Mm.
mind as much, but now Brunson, Harper, forcing him to that right hand. Now he switches on to Bridges, almost a steal Champagnie. Hart hesitates, kicks out Brunson. They get the corner three. No, New York's jump shooting has been frigid. Vassell on the push. Wembanyama is rolling to the basket. Harper on the drive. Oh, man, he just knocked Anunoby back. Victor on the glass, and he's given San Antonio another possession on the out of bounds.
And the Knicks have 2 points in 5 third-quarter minutes.
Yeah, it's been pretty ugly. Cornette now is going to come in. Maybe that can help their offense. They've gotten a few decent looks from three, but very little at the rim. The Spurs have really amped up that aspect of it.
The Knicks are 1 for 10 from the field.
Ooh, Victor with a limp here. What is this? Did he come down on somebody's foot there? Yeah, I didn't see it. Cornette operating up top. Champagnie, three-pointer on the move. He's starting to degrade the quality of his shots. Nice takeaway there by Towns. Now can the Knicks finally get transition? Man, Spurs are back again. Bridges with a beautiful attack. And they finally give a foul to the New York Knicks, a shooting foul. Bridges with a great run, a rare transition attack against San Antonio, but they lead it by 13 going into the under 7 timeout.
So we got a question asking if this is a Hart in the lineup issue. And I don't, because Hart really didn't play much in the first half due to foul trouble. I don't think so. I think this is the Knicks are missing some shots. They've gotten some good looks here, and Hart is he's 1 of 4 during his minutes. Like Brunson, for example, 1 for 6 in Hart's minutes. I don't think it's been too much of that.
All right, well, let's take a look at the old third quarter shot chart here. And New York is 1 of 2 at the rim. They just got a foul call, but they are 0 of 4 from 3, got up 2 corner threes, and 0 of 4 on twos away from the rim.
Yeah, so the overall on jump shots, they're 0 for 7. So you expect that to improve. And those haven't really been Josh Hart. It's been guys who normally make shots. So question, thank you for the tip. I'm not going to say your username. Over the next 10 years, which number is higher, Wembanyama MVPs or number of years that Wembanyama is eligible for Defensive Player of the Year and does not win? Well, I think one of those numbers is going to be extremely low, which is Wembanyama eligible and does not win. So I'll go regular season MVPs. I would actually go Wembanyama Finals MVPs and separately, or Wembanyama regular season MVPs more than eligible for Defensive Player of the Year and doesn't win.
It's pretty difficult to imagine him not winning it if he's eligible.
And the crazy thing, because of how young he is that 10 years from now, Victor Wembanyama is still going to be 32. So it's not like he'll be deeply post-prime, and odds are he'll still be 7'5" or thereabouts. Do you think of Champagnie as a plus defender? No, I don't. He is less of a negative than I feared, but as a plus, I think that's going a little too far. And we got a comment from Matt. Oh, sorry, I was going to do the one from Matthew instead of Matt. We have 2 separate ones. Even though Brunson was hitting shots, I think Carter Bryant should get another run in the quarter. I agree. I think that Carter Bryant should get another shot. He's done a good job. Question, do we think that Victor Wembanyama will be less focused on otherworldly defense if he matures his offensive game and starts running more possessions? So 2 things. One, his defense isn't necessarily based on a lot of the stuff. He's a giant human being with great instincts. I don't think that it's about, fatigue hurts him, but it doesn't hurt him as much as most guys. I also don't think that Wembanyama, as much as I like him offensively, I don't think that he is going to be like running a lot of their offense. I think he'll be more involved, like his usage rate will go up, but I don't think that it's going to be the every down quarterback, in part also because you don't want him to do that. He's the most valuable defensive player in the league. If you're diminishing his defense at all, then you diminish his offense.
She must be down here because I didn't see her upstairs.
So Bridges misses the first free throw here. And yeah, but Wembanyama's limped. I was slightly distracted. Did they show how he got that limp?
I didn't see it either. I was also distracted.
Yeah, Bridges got a rare trip to the free throw line and knocks that one down for only the third New York point of the half. They go to the 45 again, going at Towns. The Knicks switch that, interestingly. I think that's good to get Towns on Castle. Like, that's fine. Castle kicks out Harper, no advantage. Let's see if he can make one. Works on Bridges. Oh, yes. So good.
Oof.
I love when Dylan Harper flexes after a bucket. You know he's feeling good. Yeah, he's too strong for Bridges. That's crazy. Now Brunson bothered by Castle. Towns at the elbow. They go into their screening action again. Back screen for Hart, who then screens for Bridges. He turns the corner. Good contest there by Champagny. It's bounced around. It'll be a goaltend. I think Cornette might have got his hand through the net.
And it went in anyway. And so we got an answer in the comments. So Josh Hart drove, and according to Hirsch, there was knee-to-knee contact and a left.
Oh, on that foul. Yeah, the foul that Josh Hart picked up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dylan Harper an honorary Chicago point guard? Well, no, not when Jalen Brunson is on the other side.
He is a very good rebounder.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Brunson is like he and AD are like the only good Chicago players.
We just need somebody to get Jabari Parker back in the league.
Yeah. No, he and Jahlil Okafor were basically after those two guys got drafted so high, the gods were like, "Nah, Chicago, you don't get any good players for a while." That's Castle going through Shamet to get a free throw line jumper.
They'll get good players when Reinsdorf sells the team.
Late switch on the pick and pop out near half court. No advantage gain though. Now a nice backdoor there by Shamet with Cornette having to get out on Towns. These are minutes where New York can be pretty effective. The Towns Cornette minutes. Castle, Harper, three-pointer. Off the heel. Spurs still struggling. Both teams are on the arc threes. McBride, he'll get up an arc three. Cornette cutting off Towns. Towns on the blow-by. And one.
You don't have to have your center on Karl Anthony Towns, and you don't have to have him up in his body. This is
so who is Cornette guarding with this group, though? They are going super shooting focused right now. This is actually, I think I guess it's Hart. Yeah,
Josh
Hart's
Hart's
still on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, so the lineup that's out there for New York right now: Brunson, Shamet, McBride, Hart, and Towns. Anunoby and Bridges are both sitting. And then for the Spurs, Fox, Harper, Champagny, Vassell, Cornette. Yeah, it's hard to imagine this series getting smaller because these teams are just so small.
McBride providing some rare full court pressure on Harper. Now Fox, who's been good defensively in this quarter, he's back in the game. Castle on the bench. Here's Champagny on the pick and pop. Towns with a huge block. Shamet got fouled. They didn't call it. It gave the advantage to the Knicks. Here's Brunson into the lane and scores over Vassell. Beautiful attack there by Brunson and a timeout. You would think after this 7-0 run that we're going to see Victor Wembanyama back in the game. Can Carter Bryant defend Karl Towns at all? Yeah, I certainly think that's something I would want to discover if I were Mitch Johnson. Van Vliet's a Chicago point guard. He's from Rockford, which I don't think counts. I think people from Rockford would be pissed off at that.
So we got asked about whether Sohan gets a ring regardless of series outcome. So there are two components. Dan Feldman wrote about this very well in the Daily Dunks. One is, will the team offer it? And typically they do. So typically if a player is on the team, plays minutes for them at some point, at least they'll or is on roster, usually they'll offer it. But then there's also the component of, will the player accept it? So we got a question about Varejao. Anderson Varejao was offered a ring by the Cavs in 2016 and then declined it.
Yeah, so really this run by the Knicks seems like it's been all about just the Cornet against Towns stuff and then a transition play. Yeah, 3 of 16 on arc threes for the Knicks, 3 of 19 for the Spurs, but San Antonio is 6 of 10 on corner threes and 3 of 8 for the New York Knicks.
And so Jackson asked if Carter Bryant can defend Towns at all. I think he can.
Yeah.
He might get some fouls, but sure. I think you give him a few minutes. Sure. What do you think Wembanyama's offensive game will look like at his peak? I've wondered about that a lot, going back to when I saw him play for Metropolitans 92. I don't think he's ever going to be a dominant post player, and I don't think he needs to be. I think that's just that's harder on your body. I think he can do it against mismatches. I think there will be some elements of a dynamic pick and roll game, and I also think Wembanyama will eventually be able to handle some in pick and roll. So I think it'll be different. I think it'll be. I don't think it'll follow any of the clean cut big man templates. It may end up being more like some of those power forward, maybe even small forward templates, a little bit more for him. But also we've already seen the Spurs get so much better this year at getting him throwing the ball at the rim. Like Wembanyama can get 4 baskets a game just by being taller than everybody else and getting there.
Yeah, I think a lot of like off-ball screens for him, I think is going to be a lot. I mean, they're using a lot of that already. I think it's more just refinement of the stuff that he's already doing. Do I see him developing a face-up game? The problem is just that there's really nobody that he's going to just rip through and beat. It's always going to be spin backs, and so then he's vulnerable to gapping defenders. And now if you just leave the whole court open, he can take big steps and step around guys. But
it might actually be similar. So like the other thing that he'll have similar to Anthony Davis is just being this transition force, at least until he's in his late 20s. Anthony Davis, we lose that a little bit now because he's been limited and a little bit old for a while, but Anthony Davis was the best transition big in the league for years. Yeah,
so here's the Towns versus Cornet sizzle reel. And then this last play here by Brunson. Vassell almost got that. So Victor is back in. Johnson is, well, they're going to set a cross screen for Victor here with Brunson's man. Victor is open. See, he should just take that jump shot to me. Now he kicks out. They are double teaming him, but the Knicks are back in good order. I'll rip through Harper. Around, man, left hand, duck under, right side of the bat. It's just, I love watching him because when he gets there, he's going to finish, but it's always something new and creative every time. Brunson firing the 3 going left, not his preferred direction. Wembanyama. Both teams are in the bonus with an 8 points per lead. Wembanyama ran away from it. Hart on the attack. Victor not looking to really get back into the play here very quickly. And they finally get a corner 3 through Shamet, who's played well.
Nice job by Miles McBride, understanding the better shooter had an open shot.
Victor pick and roll. Fox rejects it into the lane. Harper wide open corner 3. Not even close from Dylan Harper. His jumper has been off the last few times. Now Brunson picked up by Johnson, broke his ankles. Now he crosses the formation. Hart not looking to take the 3. They move it. McBride, he's looking to take the 3 every single time. Over the head of Wembanyama, right to Towns for the layup. Knicks within 3.
This is a nice run by them. They had 2 points for a lot of this third quarter. Now it's a 12-2 run.
Champagne will set the screen to involve Brunson. They don't switch it. Fox on the attack. Nice. That's what they need from Fox. And that's where that hedge can make you vulnerable because you lose contact with the offensive player and then they can get a head of steam at you. Now they're going to go at Wembanyama and pick and roll through Hart's screen. Hart attacking Victor. Victor avoided the foul. Now he's bothering him. Towns trying to post up. Shamet moving without the ball. They're down to 5 on the clock. No time for the post up. They got to go to Hart. Wembanyama closed him down, in and out, but there's Hart, Towns again on the offensive glass, and he's got the and one.
Towns up to 17 points on 7 to 13 from the field, and he's been huge in this third quarter. Towns has 9 points before this free throw in the third.
I think he's got a couple of assists as well. And they've got Johnson on Karl Anthony Towns, and he just powered his way right through Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson has to turn around and use his butt to ride Towns out of the play the best he can. But that's the second time now that Wembanyama has contested a jumper on the perimeter and let Towns go for the offensive rebound as a result.
Towns has scored or assisted on 6 of the Knicks' 8 baskets in this third quarter.
And he's got the end one, 2-point game. Fox going to run pick and roll here with Victor. Victor coming down the lane. Fox attacks, missed it. Good box out by Towns on Victor. They're not bringing quite as much help from the weak side. Shamet looking to get it into Brunson's hands. Now Towns up top. Towns fires from way out. Left it short. Victor not quite as up on him there. It worked out. Harper bothered from behind. Johnson, he's just going to try. Oh, he didn't actually commit the charge. I thought that was a charge coming on Brunson setting up. Here's Victor. Tried to draw the foul. Harper eschewed the 3. Gets to his office at the mid-range. But I think, what is this, a foul on Victor? Pushing?
It is a foul on Victor
action?
Wembanyama. That is it is his second personal, but it is. And Victor Wembanyama, you can set actual screens with your actual body instead of just using your hands to push.
Yeah, a lot of times the big will push almost to just give themselves a running start on their roll, more even than to set the screen. But yeah, especially Harper has already turned the corner on Brunson. He didn't need to do that at all. Now Brunson wants to go at Champagnie. Going to just try to ISO him here. They're in a flat set. Brunson working, pulls up beautifully. Really got the separation on him that time. Now Johnson going off a make into McBride. I'm surprised that wasn't a foul.
It looked to me like McBride got him clean, and this has been a fantastic response by the Knicks.
Yeah, look at Brunson. Just the shiftiness here. Champagnie is moving with him. I think Champagnie has Victor behind him. To me, he shouldn't be so worried about getting back in front of him. And this is an obvious
it's a foul.
foul.
Absolutely a foul. You were right.
I don't know how that's not a foul. He's clearly crossing his path there. That's not a straight line pathway play. Vassell back into the game. They love to run their ATOs for him. Vassell is going to dunk it down. Beautiful fundamentals there to curl. Mike Brown upset that there wasn't a foul on that screen. Shamet went down, and Vassell made the right play by curling to the basket. Now Barnes is in the game behind Brunson. Tried not to draw the foul, but he did anyway. And that time, again, you got to run alongside Brunson to the extent that you can. Try to bother a shot from the side. If you get behind him, he's going to stop short, and you're going to pick up the foul. Here, let's watch this again. Victor laid the wood that time on Shamet. That was a legal screen. You are allowed to firm up like that. And Shamet, he hit his head right on the shoulder of Victor, but seems to be okay.
And the Knicks have more free throws than the Spurs in this third quarter, which was a huge swing from the first half, where it was 12-3 in free throw attempts. So we got a comment. Am I the only one who thinks Wemby looks slow since coming back? No, he has looked slower than he did before.
Man, Mitchell Robinson just lined up like a blocking fullback, or actually, no, more like a defensive tackle. He looks like Aaron Donald trying to break through that double box out on the free throw.
Oh, I expected you to go with the Bears defensive tackle in the 80s.
Here's Harper. Nice cutoff by McBride. Nice cutoff again by McBride. Wembanyama, corner 3 over Robinson. Nice rebound by Hart, tracking back to take it away from Barnes. Knicks can take the lead here. Fox trying to guard Brunson. Brunson feeling it. Short. Good contest by De'Aaron Fox. Fox is matched up pretty well defensively, I'd say, against Brunson. Now Fox on a quick attack. goes into the lane, and he just sent it flying over the backboard. But is this going to be a foul?
Nate, one of the biggest stories of this game, we haven't brought up the stat yet so far. Victor Wembanyama has only attempted one shot inside 5 feet. He missed that banker, and he's been fouled once inside 5 feet, and then he's 1 for 3 in the upper paint. They're not giving up the shots, the tosses to the basket like so many other teams have in these playoffs.
So it was a foul in favor of Fox going through the arms.
Yeah, that foul is on Shamet. That is his 3rd. No one has 4 fouls. A bunch of guys have 3.
Yeah, no Anunoby impact. I think he was good defensively in the first quarter or so with some of his digs as Fox misses the free throw. Robinson inside position for the rebound. San Antonio up by 1. This has devolved into a defensive struggle. Looked like the Spurs might break out of that. Now Brunson wants to go after Harrison Barnes. Tells Shamet to get to the near side corner. Now he's going to put him in the mix. Good gap help by Harper. Brunson changing speeds, tried to drop it off for Robinson, and there the effect of Wembanyama bothered Brunson. You just can't really get inside the free throw line as one of these mid-range players without worrying that you're going to get your shot blocked. 2 for 1 time for San Antonio. Fox off the Wembanyama screen. Wembanyama looking to interact now with Vassell. Shamet got through the screen. Vassell still on the ball. Kicks out Wembanyama. He should have taken that 3. Instead, he's going to drive. Look out! Never mind. He shouldn't have taken that 3. 4.3 differential. They'll get another chance at it. And Victor Wembanyama blowing by Mitchell Robinson. They want to try to call up Barnes. Fox pre-switches it. Now they go to a double screen. Fox switches it again. Now they get it to Shamet. Hart on the attack. McBride moving without the ball. Oh, no, he banked it in from the corner.
And he banked it in high. That was such a weird shot.
Down to 5. Victor loves to take these deep threes at the end of the clock. Gets to it over Brunson. No. And that will do it. It is 76-76. Looked like New York, down 13, could get blown out of the building. When Wembanyama went off the floor, a 7-0 Knick run got them back in contact, and they've continued the momentum.
And in terms of the minute totals, no one going too nuts here. Wembanyama's at 27. Fox is at 27. Both those players will get rests in the 4th quarter. Vassell at 26. Towns at 26. Oh, Jalen Brunson's at 29. I missed him. Apologies. And we talked about it a little bit earlier in the game. I think one of the big questions here is going to be who closes. And for the Knicks, the only argument outside of their starting 5 would be if you wanted Shamet for Hart offensively, and I think that's definitely plausible. For the Spurs, though, even though he had a couple of nice defensive plays, Harper over Fox.
Well, would you go Harper and Fox and no Castle?
I think Castle's done a good enough job defensively. I think there's a place for him. There's a place for him there. And
yeah, his jumper is looking broke, though.
It is.
So is Harper's, though, lately.
I mean, I'd consider it, but I don't think that Fox has been better enough to make that a true.
I thought Fox had a really good 3rd quarter. I probably would close with him. I think he was. I think that looked pretty good. So yeah, a couple of individual stat lines are pretty interesting. Towns has 18. He's been the best offensive player in the game. Brunson had that one stretch in the second, but he's only got 17 points on 7 of 22. He's 1 of 8 from 3 with 4 turnovers. And then Wembanyama is 3 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from 2, 1 of 6 from 3. He does have 15 points, though, because he's 8 of 8 at the foul line. And that, with the Knicks getting to the foul line a little bit more there, that number has normalized some. It's 18 free throw attempts for San Antonio, 10 for New York.
For me, the biggest stat of the 3rd quarter, in the first half, the Spurs had 25 transition points on 17 transition plays. In the 3rd quarter, they had 1 transition point on 8 transition plays. That really
flipped. And the Knicks did more in transition.
2 turnovers, only 1 shot at the rim, which they missed, 2 threes, which they missed. The only point they got was a single free throw, and that free throw was by, I think that was Wemby. No, it was De'Aaron Fox. Oh yeah, the split he had. Jackson says haven't felt Castle in the second half much. I agree with that. I think you haven't much, but considering the defense he plays, and I am not the biggest Stephon Castle stan. He also had a couple of where his good passes might have been the second quarter, not the third.
Yeah, past the weak side corner at one point. Second chance points also starting to add up now for New York, 16 to 6 in that category.
And San Antonio brought up the one transition point. They ran reasonably frequently. They ran on 60% of Knicks misses. So one, the Knicks didn't miss as many, and they were just unsuccessful. The shots didn't go in.
All right, fourth quarter underway, and Brunson is on the bench. Alvarado, these minutes have not looked great for New York. They go to the late switch again on Towns now that Brunson is out of the game. I'm surprised they don't double team here. Wembanyama looking to come over, and he got Towns from behind, tipped around. Towns still on the glass. It's loose, and whose ball is it?
I think it's Nick's
Nick ball.
14 on the clock. There's Jeremy Sohan.
Shamet trying to get open underneath. They get it to him, and Vassell was late, as was Wembanyama. First Nick lead in some time. Castle, again, Victor not making any contact on the screen, and they get nothing out of that pick and roll. Anunoby, you got to actually make contact on that. Here's Fox getting past. Oh, nice pass there, but it hit the backboard, hit the rim, and Wembanyama able to recover it.
I think that was a shot, but either way.
It could have been a
short floater.
He was like trying to draw the foul as well, but Wembanyama with the chance to tie the game.
Incidentally, I think that's a play that De'Aaron Fox should throw as a pass more often. His teammate Stephon Castle does, and that's also one that Dylan Harper will get better at reading and making over the next 2-3 years.
Victor with the missed free throw.
And these are Wembanyama's 9th and 10th free throw attempts of the game. That ties him with the entire Knicks team in terms of attempts.
Yeah, but he won't be able to tie this game after missing the first free throw. Another one coming for the big Frenchman. So right now, Anunoby and Towns up front, 3-guard alignment with Alvarado, Shamet, and McBride. Spurs doing a lot of off-ball switching here. Want to run pick and roll with Anunoby. Castle switching on to him. Castle now switching on to Alvarado. They are not getting much here. They want to post up OG against Fox. Good gap by Castle onto Alvarado, who will have to create. Fires it over Castle. And, they're going to give OG this call inside position on Fox. And the Knicks offensive rebounding, they've gotten some of these mismatch. It's rare that they actually get something out of the initial play, but they're at least hitting the offensive glass out of those mismatches.
Mm-hmm. And so far, 18-7 in second chance points before this possession.
Alvarado going to screen for OG. Nobody open. Down to 5 already on the offensive glass. Here's OG getting past Castle. And again, the gravity of Towns prevented Wembanyama from affecting that play. Knicks up 3, and they're doing it in the non-Brunson minutes. Castle, weak side, Barnes. He'll attack McBride. Goes across the lane. Tries to dump it to Wembanyama. Good defense by Towns. Fade away by Victor is not even close. I thought Barnes should have taken that shot. Now Towns going into Harrison Barnes. Cut off nicely. Barnes has a lot of experience guarding bigger players. Now trying to front Towns in the post. OG's going to try Castle one-on-one. Tries to draw the foul. Over him? No. They have not given up that call basically ever, the referees in this game. Weak side Vassell. Hill attack. Goes at Towns. Lays it. No. Did not lay it in. Victor on the glass. Hill put it down to cut it to 1. Way under on Alvarado. They'll switch that as well. And now hand off Towns to Castle underneath. McBride working on Barnes. Not really an advantage matchup. Anunoby in the corner. Fox late close. That's just not good enough from Fox right there. He's not helping
without helping.
Yeah. That whole situation was totally contained. Wembanyama changes sides. Good defense by Shamet. And Castle, that was a brick that somehow went in.
He's had a couple of these deep spinning shots that fell.
Now Towns picked up by Barnes. They're going with Barnes rather than Carter Bryant in that spot. OG is going to try Victor here. Forcing him to his left. Following the scouting report. OG shooting over Victor Wembanyama with back-to-back corner threes.
I like that decision by OG Anunoby. Jab step a little bit to get some space and then just fire. It's the best chance you're going to get.
Castle. The Knicks are doing a good job of getting through screens here. Kick out Castle. They help off of him, and he makes them pay. That's a huge 3 for San Antonio to cut it right back to 2, where they have been gapping off to find Castle. One thing I'll say the Knicks have done a really good job of is just getting through these Wembanyama screens that have absolutely zero impact. They know that he's not going to make contact, especially after he got that little knee issue earlier with someone running into his legs. So they just are getting through the screen, and it's really short-circuiting these Spurs pick and rolls. Now, again, Knicks very late in the clock. Alvarado on the attack. This time, Wembanyama was underneath. They switched him out in the screening action to keep him down there. Wembanyama running the floor. Fox trying to get through. Corner Vassell for the lead. Way long. Wembanyama got boxed out nicely by Towns. They get the offensive rebound by someone else, and Castle couldn't give him the lead either. Now more transition coming here for the Knicks. McBride going to try to get past Castle. He airmailed the layup. Can the Spurs come back and get rim pressure? Barnes not looking to take that 3. Now he does. Towns tried to, or that was Shamet who tried to fall down, and that was foolish. Timeout by New York. They're going to get Brunson back in the game here, but you're just not getting these flopping calls right now. Why fall down there? He left the glass completely exposed for an easy tip, and it's tied at 86.
I've been impressed with the Knicks offense during these non-Brunson visits. They got some second chance, but they were attacking. And I mean, OG hitting that 3 on on Wembanyama. I think it's been better for me than I feared in the. Let me look at the full stats in the game. So Brunson off, Wembanyama on, which is the minutes I thought they were going to get smoked in. It's 24-20 in favor of the Knicks. Yeah, I wondered about that. Stop It Sim says random Derek Queen cameo in there. I thought that was Derek Queen. And I'm like, good for him. That was one of my favorite things years ago, including, incidentally, in San Antonio about going to the Final Four, was that you would see all these college players that were not involved in the Final Four just like walking around. So the year they played in college, I just saw Roy Hibbert, not Hibbert, because Hibbert played in the Final Four, was Eric Gordon and a few other guys just, milling around, which was pretty fun. Jokic says NBA has a flopping problem that baseball and football do not have. What would flopping be in baseball?
Yeah, when they throw at guys' heads and they fall down, that is a total flop.
And there is some selling in football, but it's just the nature of contact in football and in basketball is completely different.
Yeah. Well, pass interference would be the only thing that would come to mind.
Yeah, but there's a lot in.
Or maybe soccer, roughing the QB.
In soccer or football, depending on what you call it, there's plenty of flopping in that. And
yeah.
And I mean, I like to delineate between flopping and embellishment. The idea being that flopping is you make something that wasn't there, and then embellishment is exaggerating contact that exists. And embellishment has to exist because that's just the player trying to accentuate, trying to make it so that a referee can actually see something. It doesn't need to be as egregious as it is, but I don't like that those terms are conflated because they're actually meaningfully different. Oh, that's a good one from Dan. Quarterbacks flop around the sideline to try to get a late hit. That is true. I think of Patrick Mahomes with that, but that might just be because I only usually watch football towards the end of the season, and for whatever reason, the Chiefs have been there a lot. Karl-Anthony Towns has been pilloried for his defense. Can you explain how he's improved? A couple of different things. So one is his body positioning has become a lot more consistent. He's getting his chest into things more instead of being a little bit late. So his feet are better. His chest is better. And then Towns, he usually doesn't commit his fouls like in active defense, but I think he's gotten more judicious with his hands, not swiping as much, because that's a real problem. But he's been markedly better in these playoffs than he had been previously in his career.
He also is in a stance more.
True.
And he's just ready to move when the action involves him. We're getting the Wembanyama defensive sizzle reel because everyone who's turning in for the first time is like, oh, this guy sucks. Got to show him that his defense actually matters. So it is Cornette in the game right now. Harper and Castle as the guards, and Champagny and Vassell at forward. Robinson sprints into the screening action. Brunson's back in the floor as well, getting past Castle. Beautiful float game there by Brunson. Never put the left hand on the ball, and that's a hard shot to shoot when you're not going off the glass. Now they want to screen for Vassell. They often run the ATO for him. Castle is going to set that. Zoom action. Knicks just getting through screens. And now that was a foul on Bridges. Harper, whoa, how did he finish that? But they are going to call the foul first on Bridges on the baseline. That was another just ridiculous Harper finish, but it didn't count.
Third foul on Mikal Bridges, second team foul on the Knicks, and yeah, blatant foul there.
Yep. But Harper also, Harper was going to get better at drawing fouls. His foul rate has gone way up in the playoffs, but I love the way he plays through contact. They go after Brunson and pick and roll. Castle trying to bludgeon through Hart. He didn't draw the foul. Hart stood tall. Here's Brunson going downhill, and he's fouled by Champagny. Knicks fast break game. They've actually outscored San Antonio by quite a bit in the fast break. And again, what we are seeing here that's probably stood out the most to me is the New York Knicks are just getting through screens.
Yes. And so far, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but like the Knicks, they're running pretty aggressively. I think they've been more successful in the Spurs. I think some of it has been them missing shots they normally make, but it's evaporated. It was the foundation of their offensive success in the first half, and they have one transition point in the second half.
Knicks 10 of 33 from downtown, but 10 of 37 for San Antonio, which of course shot so well in the final two games of the OKC series.
So 6:52 left. Who do you think has the advantage right now?
Well, it always feels so fraught when Wembanyama is out of the game, but he's back now. And Towns is out for New York, so I would expect New York to struggle to score here unless they can get transition. They're going to the 45 pick and roll again. They go at Robinson. Harper getting downhill. Has to kick out. That time Robinson defended him well, and Wembanyama got to take it away. Beautiful play on the backside there by Hart. Here's Brunson changing speeds again. He is fantastic in transition, and New York is up by 6. Timeout San Antonio.
And
use it or lose it.
What I was going to say with that, when I posed the question to you, is I think the Knicks have been the better team in this second half so far. And so, I mean, they are on the road, but Wembanyama is presumably going to play the remainder of this one. But I think they've been better in the second half. For Corpse and Orbit, it's cool that Karl-Anthony Towns left the most obvious effort-based parts of basketball for season 11. You know, it happens. It took, his former teammate Andrew Wiggins, it took him a long time to kind of work within his constraints and get there. He got it figured out a couple years earlier than Towns, but it happens. These guys who spent so much time as on ball, as forces, best players on their college team, best player on their earlier teams. And then it's just like, no, you need to do the little stuff too.
Man, I just love that none of these feel contact and throw the ball up plays have been given in front of Commissioner Adam Silver. They are not calling those in this game. I like that.
From Namir, Champagny on Brunson is more of a problem than Champagny on Shea. I agree. I think that Brunson knows his spots and his positioning so well. And Champagny had some real trouble with Shea in the early part of the series. He got a little bit better later on.
The Knicks just have way more shooting than Oklahoma City.
True.
And especially when it's Towns. And just replacing. And I do think that San Antonio needs to be a little more willing to give up Towns threes than they have been, frankly, because he just doesn't really seem to want to do that. And okay, if he takes 4 or 5 and he hits a few of them, then you can adjust. But
Brian wants a full physiomechanical breakdown of how a 6'1" below average athlete can perform like this. Brunson's footwork is so unbelievably good, and his strength and body control is incredibly good for a player his size. So I think there are a lot of players who are actually, so like we often do the like player who you should like, there used to be these good pieces at ESPN, like who you should watch film of. I think there are a lot of players who could watch Jalen Brunson film and learn some things, because the mechanics of his game are just flawless.
Well, he's another guy who's a decel, quick acceleration guy. He's in a full court sprint. He's slow as hell, but just his first step and his ability to slow down, accelerate again, he does look very quick. If you put him in a 5x5 box, he's as quick as any guy in the league.
Yeah, that's a good point from Namir. Brunson is only a below average athlete if you don't include the components of athleticism. Yeah, it's the same thing with Luka, where it's not just how fast you can run and how high you can jump. There's a lot more to athleticism than that.
Yeah, last rookie who is this impactful on a finals team. I mean, obviously Magic in 1980. Oh, man, yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, because Duncan was in his second year. We probably need to lock in on this close fourth quarter of the finals.
We'll let Dan work on that.
Nice deflection by Bridges immediately. And what is this?
There's somebody on the court.
Some idiot ran on the floor.
Yeah.
I love how I'm so locked in on the basketball. I don't even see that. Hey, maybe they prevented a... was it a streaker? Was that guy naked?
I don't think they were. I mean, I think you should just basically pretend that whole thing never happened and just have the Spurs inbound it with 24.
Because there was a deflection. This might be a jump ball.
I think the deflection was after the person was on the court.
Let's watch Mitch Johnson's reaction. Is he going to be pissed off? I don't know, this guy just trying to take a selfie.
Well, at least they didn't do anything violent or dangerous. It's dumb, but I'm at least happy about that.
I hope that guy goes to jail.
Yes. Because think about what could happen if somebody did that with worse intentions. And yeah, lifetime ban, of course. I mean, why give that to use that opportunity?
So yeah, this has to be a jump ball. I guess it was loose at the time they blew it dead. The Spurs lose by 1, and they do get this back anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now they're going straight to the 45 pick and roll. Fox getting downhill. Vassell, Champagny off the pick and pop. He's been way off in the second half. He got himself out of rhythm by taking bad shots, and now the good ones aren't going down. Brunson looking to push it to a 3-possession lead. Turns the corner. Good Gortat screen set by Mitchell Robinson. Totally legally, I might add. Here's Fox, and he's chucked by Hart. Good call there.
That is the 3rd foul on the Knicks, 4th personal on Josh Hart.
It is a little amusing to me, I must say. In the chat, everyone's saying Brunson is so much better than Shea, and what is he shooting now? He's had really impactful moments, but
He's 9
Brunson
of
is
24.
He's 9 of 24 for. He's taken. Yeah, I'll give you the stats in a second here, but he's 9 of 24. Wembanyama looking to post up on Robinson, facing up now. Help coming over. Brunson is gapping. Wembanyama trying to step through. Can't draw the foul. Tries to send it underneath to Harper, and they're going to get a walk on Victor Wembanyama. Victor, to me, he's not going to overpower Mitchell Robinson. He needs to just, if he has the open jumper, just take it.
So Nate, Victor Wembanyama's second
go
half.
up over him right there.
Victor Wembanyama's second half. 2 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 on twos, 0 for 3 on threes, 3 turnovers.
That's bad. Now it's Hart getting past Champagnie, but Victor picked him up, and good stunt by Harper for the deflection. But New York really has a chance to put San Antonio into difficulty, and the Spurs have only 31 points in the second half. They've been outscored 18-10 in this quarter. It's really the Spur offense that is melting down at the moment.
And the Spurs have 0 transition points and 5 half-court points in this fourth quarter.
Towns continues to get a rest. Wembanyama got a hand on that handoff. Brunson still has it. Now he's going to go left with 8 on the clock. Engages Wembanyama, fires it up. Loose, good rebound by Fox. Can the Spurs finally get transition here? Knicks are well back. Fox going to put Hart in the mix. Got his pocket picked. Wembanyama trying to get back. Hart looking for reinforcements, and they'll get it back to Shamet and run some offense here. They should give the ball to Brunson, I would say. Shamet running pick and roll doesn't seem like what I'd want. Into the corner, Hart. He'll attack Champagnie off the dribble. Nothing doing. They never got the ball to Brunson here. This is a horrible possession. Bridges has to take an impossible fader. But why? The only guy who can create is never touch the ball in that play. I don't really understand it. Shamet should have just given him the ball. Here's Wembanyama firing the 3. Yes! Knocks it down. Aggression from Wembanyama. Timeout, Mike Brown. That's his use it or lose it. He'll surely get Towns back in the game now.
Jalen Brunson's fourth quarter. 8 points, 3 of 4 from the field, all twos, 2 of 2 from the line, +5. No assists, but that's actually about how the Knicks haven't. It's been Brunson creating. They have 2 assists on 7 made baskets, but Jalen Brunson's been doing it. No more Hart, Mitchell Robinson lineups, please. So the splits on that, Hart plus Mitchell Robinson in the full game, they're actually up 15-8 in that, and it was actually 8-3 in this fourth quarter, but that was Jalen Brunson going wild, not those guys, the end. I mean, it seems easier to defend than a lot of other things. But the other part of facing the Spurs limited, like how small they are, is that with Robinson on the floor, Wembanyama pretty much has to guard him. So then Hart's actually going to be, his limitations as a shooter don't actually compound as much because it's not like the Spurs' other guys are great help defenders. Brian doesn't understand how the Knicks defense is surviving with Shamet on the floor. So Shamet, he's not a great defender, but he's not a terrible one either. He usually can execute, and he's physically talented enough. He's not a traffic cone out there.
So Anunoby is going to be back in. They've got Bridges on the bench, and they're going with a lot of shooting here. Hart is still in, though, interestingly, with Bridges on the bench. I'm surprised they're going that route. Maybe it'll be a short rest for Bridges. Brunson wants to go at Champagnie. Towns is in the weak side corner, guarded by Wembanyama, but now there's not enough spacing to take advantage of that. Brunson over Champagnie, left it well short. Good contest, but Victor was lurking, so Brunson's options were limited. Here goes Harper right at Shamet, who's been great defensively here. Go and catch by Wembanyama, trying to draw the foul. That foul has not been there. Gets it back. He needs to just go up there instead of trying to go through guys' bodies. Just shoot over them. You're 7-11. Here's Wembanyama, corner 3, off the top of the backboard. Rebound. They got to get this up, and a foul with 1.2 on the shot clock. Champagnie hitting the offensive glass hard.
And that was a very good Knicks defensive possession. Got unraveled by some bad. I thought that was a pretty bad foul by Brunson. That is his fourth team foul. So the Spurs are shooting for the remainder of regulation.
I'm just loving the way this game is being refereed right now.
Sure.
Nobody, like, anytime someone goes up with a bullshit shot that they would never shoot, it doesn't matter how much contact there is, they're just not getting the foul call.
And they've called a few things on the perimeter, but relative to expectations, they've done a very good job.
So Harper will be replaced.
I just saw Carter Bryant saying there. I'm like, yeah, he should have played more in this game. He only played 4 minutes. He shouldn't be in there now, to be clear.
So the Spurs will go with their starting group. They are in the bonus. What's the foul situation for New York right now?
The Spurs
Spurs, rather. It's Champagny, but another missed free throw for San Antonio.
Spurs have only committed 2 team fouls. Knicks have committed 4.
Castle is on Brunson. They've got Wembanyama on Towns. They should just go, and now they're going to try to pre-switch these pick and rolls here. They'll switch Fox onto Brunson. Castle with Shamet out of the corner. He's picked up by Wembanyama. Good Spurs switching off the ball here. Anunoby swallowed up by Champagny. Tough fadeaway, rebounded by Champagny. And now can San Antonio finally get transition? Wemby on the trail. Towns did well to get back. Wembanyama working on it. See, he could take that jumper off the dribble right there. Now he's going to end up getting a worse shot, I think. Goes at Towns. Towns falls down. Count it. So he will not get a worse shot. The 2 times I've criticized his decision-making on jumpers, he's gotten a layup or a dunk. So maybe you shouldn't listen to me.
So I think that Wembanyama should have the ball in his hands less in transition. I think that I brought up Anthony Davis before. I think that Wembanyama needs to be more of an off-ball guy in transition. He can have it more in the half court, but he doesn't make decisions fast enough, and he's not creating advantages fast enough on ball.
This secondary reach here by Towns as he's falling down. If you think you're going to get a charge there and fall down, why are you going to reach in at the last second? So big free throws here for Victor, or one big free throw, excuse me, to cut it to 1 with 3:24 remaining. And with both teams now only 2 timeouts, we're looking at a pretty long stretch here, crunch time basketball, probably without a stoppage unless there's a foul. 1-point game. We are in crunch time, a classic game 1 of the NBA Finals loading, and they're going to try to involve Wembanyama earlier in the play so they can't pre-switch it. Towns in the pick and pop. They rotate Fox up to him. Corner, Spurs, great rotation here behind the play. Champagny now on Brunson. Brunson putting him in the mix. There's help from Fox. Brunson creates the space at the foul line. That's a good look. Could not knock it down. Again, Wembanyama was lurking. The Spurs are doing a great job of keeping Victor close to the basket. Now he'll attack Towns. Tried to draw the foul. Again, they don't give him that BS attempt to draw a foul. Almost a steal, but Shamet now, as a result of that, is going to get a 3. They miss it. Hart flying around. Oh, Shamet somehow got that loose ball.
He saw Hart falling out of bounds and ran to him.
Down to 5. Brunson off the glass. Loves that from the right side. Can't get it. Wembanyama going to bring it up against Towns. Spurs looking for the lead. He should get it to Fox here, I think. He's got Brunson on him. Just get out of the way. So they'll run pick and roll. Again, no contact on the screen by Wembanyama. Help by Anunoby. 3 by Vassell. That could have given him the lead. Short. So short. They throw it up to Victor, and he's fouled. It'll be a non-shooting foul, but free throws for San Antonio. The miss was so short there that Vassell knew right where it was coming.
And the Knicks offense has gone cold here. They scored their 94th point with 6 minutes and 7 seconds left in the game, and they have not scored since.
That's a kind of a rough whistle here on Shamet. The pass was not a good one to Wembanyama, but I would not challenge here, I don't think, especially with it would leave them with only 1 timeout remaining.
So that is 6 straight scoreless trips for the Knicks.
Wow. And they've gotten some pretty good looks, I would say, through Brunson, but I've loved the way the Spurs have communicated off ball on some of these basic actions, and they have really drilled this of how they want to deal with not allowing Victor to get into the action and also keeping him off of guarding Towns unless Towns is on the baseline. And even then, they're finding ways to get a guard onto Towns unless he's close to the hoop. And Bridges is back in, by the way.
With this free throw, Wembanyama will have attempted more than the Knicks team, but I think he's been fouled more than the Knicks team.
So I would be considering putting Shamet in for Hart here.
Same.
To get more shooting on the floor.
And he hasn't been attacked defensively. He's done well.
They're going back to their starters. San Antonio, 9-0 run. They've done it over a whole 4 minutes, so really more of a walk. They get Champagnie onto Brunson. Brunson turns the corner, trying to get Champagnie behind him, steps through. They move it. Anunoby, big three for the lead up top. They just haven't been able to make anything. Brunson kept it alive. In the corner, he's going to be wide open here for three. And finally, the Knicks get the lid off the basket on the offensive glass. They lead by 2 under 2 minutes.
And I thought that was all set up by a beautiful step through from Jalen Brunson. He didn't want to challenge Wembanyama, but he drew attention, then passed out of it.
Yeah, they got the blender going. Wembanyama at the right elbow. They're not going to do any off-ball screening. This is just a stagnant. Now they finally get Fox going to his left hand. Anunoby tried to go down. Fox missed the easy one for the tie at the dotted line. Knicks can push it to 2 possessions here. They get the early switch of Champagnie on Brunson. Brunson, I would go for a 3 here, a step back 3 against Champagnie to push it to 5 and really put the Spurs in trouble. Brunson running the time down. They run the double at him. Bridges cutting off the ball. Fox is on him. Fox fouls him. Terrible foul by De'Aaron Fox.
And that's a part of why I wouldn't have had De'Aaron Fox on the floor for crunch time, is that he is a bad defensive decision maker overall. He had that other play where he went for the steal and they gave up an open 3. He's done this throughout his career. Incidentally, he might have gotten Mike Brown fired on a bad decision earlier in his Kings tenure.
I think it's a little harsh on him, but yeah, I mean, I think he's actually been pretty good defensively tonight, but that was a pretty bad play. Can't defend it.
Neither
Bridges.
can De'Aaron Fox.
San Antonio's offense has not looked good in the half court either, but Fox had a chance to tie it. Going to his left hand, that was a really good look and just couldn't knock it down. And then he fouls on the other end with Bridges, and Bridges can give New York a 2-possession lead with just about a minute left.
In this fourth quarter, San Antonio has 8 points on 14 half-court plays. That's 0.57.
Yeah, their half-court offense has been bad all night, and when transition dried up, so did their offense. 4-point game now. San Antonio's got to play it just about perfect. Castle, again, the New York gets through the screen. Wembanyama crossover. No, he dribbled off his own foot. He's fallen down. Does New York push for transition, or they try to run the time here? They've got 20 left on the shot clock. They have almost enough time to take away a 2-for-1. If San Antonio should call a timeout here unless they have an obvious fast break after this. Brunson working on Vassell. Gets to his spot. Vassell in the air just a little bit, and Brunson scores on him anyway. They should take a timeout here. Fox should and then he should take a 3. He had the opening. Victor should take this 3. He takes that, and it rims out, and that's probably going to do it here. Foul. Anunoby to the free throw line. New York, as soon as San Antonio took the lead, 7-0 run. And surely they're going to take this game 1 now with even 1 free throw for Anunoby.
Bing bong. What a big win for the New York Knicks. And OG Anunoby, he's been very quiet offensively in this game 1. I think he's had some nice defensive plays. 13 points, 5 of 12 from the field, and these will be his first free throws.
Yeah, and this was my concern for San Antonio in this series. And think of how few times they've successfully attacked Jalen Brunson or run pick and roll with Towns as Robinson, or I guess they're going to go, they can't be putting Robinson in here, but
maybe they think the Spurs are going to call timeout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, but he's not in. They're going with all guards. San Antonio is not going to call timeout. They're down by 8 now with 2 free throws by Anunoby. Fox.
Not going
what
fast
is San
enough.
Antonio doing here? They're going to go for a 2. Are you kidding me? They tried the hammer play. That didn't work. Shamet was all over it. And there's only 20.7 remaining in the game. And now they will call a timeout to set something up. It's the finals. I'm not quite going to say we should break away yet. We'll see what happens on the Spurs possession. But yeah, this shot by Brunson was ridiculous. He was kind of trying to draw the foul. Again, I love that they didn't call that, and he made a ridiculous shot anyway. I can't tell you how much I've loved the way this game has been refereed. Every single time a guy has tried to shoot a shot that is only for the purpose of drawing a foul, he hasn't gotten the call. And so what is this? Is this a challenge here by the Knicks?
It's a challenge by the Spurs.
Oh, by the Spurs. Oh, to get approximate foul?
I think so. But
Well,
I
wait a
mean,
minute.
isn't it it's Spurs ball, right?
Yeah, what is this? No, it's got to be the challenge by the Knicks. Maybe it's just wrong.
Yeah, it
in
might be the box
play-by-play.
score logging is wrong.
Yeah. Because it's going to be Spurs ball, right? Yeah, this is a challenge, and it is listed as a Spurs timeout, but yeah, I didn't see where a foul would be here. But maybe I'm just not remembering the play well enough. Now, are they saying that there was a foul on this pass to the corner? Because yeah, I'm just not sure what this is. It's probably maybe it's a Knicks challenge. Who knows? Maybe
It is a Knicks challenge, according to one of the comments.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
going
off
to
the top.
succeed. The Knicks actually have a very good challenge rate.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that that the NBA should go to something more like the soccer rule of who is the reason the ball went out of bounds. But under the current rule,
So San Antonio had actually called that timeout. That's why it showed up in the play-by-play as a Spurs challenge. But you have 30 seconds after the other team calls timeout to issue a challenge, which New York, in fact, did. Going back to what you were saying, Danny, that play, I would say, is not one of those plays where it should be who caused the ball to go out of bounds because the ball was loose. Whereas if someone has the ball in their hands, it gets knocked out of their hands, and then, his fingernail happened to be touching it at the end. I think that's a different situation. That particular incident, I think it should just be whoever touched it last because the ball was loose. All right, well, it's Nick Ball. I guess we could probably pack it in here. This game's over.
I agree.
All right, well, we will talk to y'all on the pod tonight. And, of course, we will be doing this game live in Game 2. The finals live in Game 2. And I promise to talk better than that in that broadcast.